Hi, I'm Melinda Mark, Senior Analyst for ESG covering cloud and application security.
And hi, I'm Rob Strechay. I'm a Senior Analyst with ESG covering DevOps, observability, and cloud.
So I cover developer-focused security and how to efficiently incorporate secure processes into development. And Rob just completed some research that is really interesting, giving us information on how developers are spending their time. So Rob, tell us about this research study and some of the things that you found.
Thanks, Melinda. It's really interesting because a lot of our research, it crosses a lot of different domains. We were really looking into observability, and we did this back in November of 2021, so the end of last year, not too long ago. We talked to over 350 different organizations and tried to understand the challenges they faced as applications became more distributed across clouds. Some of the interesting things that we found was that a third of their time of these developers was focused on modernizing or migrating existing applications to a cloud platform. Another third of their time was spent really maintaining or troubleshooting existing applications. And then only a third of the time were they really building new applications.
Yeah, definitely interesting, especially since we want to talk about solutions that can make them more efficient. And we've been talking about developer workflows and whatever developers can do to take on some security processes, but we want to make sure that they can do it in an efficient way that works in their workflows. Of course, developers just want to focus on building their software, but they do care about quality, reliability, and they don't want to waste time doing rework.
Yeah, it's wonderful, the world we live in, that it's really you build it, you run it, you maintain it world. But at the same time, they want to, get an understanding of the metrics that make their deployments successful. How do they measure success? And I think that's a big piece of it that you're seeing even on the security side.
Yeah, definitely. And with cloud native application security, it's all about MTTR, so mean time to remediation. It's a key metric, not just for security, but for development, because it takes so long to remediate issues if they're found, and it can really slow things down. So why was this important for you to look into and to ask, how they're spending their time and what they're doing with security? And what do you think of the results?
What we found was you can't manage what you can't measure. So we wanted to understand where developers were focused, what challenges they were having, and where they were able to turn it into actionable information and how. Three of the most common responses on the challenges side was that it was extremely burdensome for them to collect the metrics and data from multiple tools. It was also a burdensome activity for them to isolate the application's underlying infrastructure. And then third was really collecting and correlating log metrics and log data really took a huge amount of time and effort on their part.
Yeah, this is really useful, especially for organizations who are thinking about their strategies and what technologies or solutions they're going to use. I also see a lot of opportunity here for the security vendors to help drive those efficiencies with their solutions by tying the data together that they collect.
Yeah, agreed. And I think, we asked some questions specifically on the security side. A couple of the top objectives of devs looking for security to bring that in and kind of shift left. The first one was really detection of vulnerabilities and malware themselves, especially before it gets deployed. And I think the next one was really misconfigurations that, how do I know that I deployed it in the right place with the right resources, with the right permissions and things of that nature.
And that's one thing too that is more on the radar, and why we see these kind of centralized purchasing patterns here, where it's on the list of priorities for IT leaders and CISOs, because they know that they're getting attacked just due to misconfigurations and preventable mistakes in their coding and in their setup, their infrastructure as code and things like that.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly it. And one of those misconfigurations, I kind of lump it in that category, but one that we specifically called out was overly permissive accounts. So this was a big focus. I was at AWS. It was one of the big focuses always was, when you were developing, how can you use the least permissive account possible?
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those, like, again, in the interest of serving customers quickly, releasing products quickly, it's so easy to over provision. And those security tools that can help people quickly see what's overly provisioned, or where are there ways where I can reduce my risk, where that access isn't needed. Those things are super helpful in helping organizations take steps that have the highest impact on reducing risk. So thanks, Rob, for joining me today to share this research. I'm looking forward to more conversations with our overlapping areas as we're working on more research and discussing our findings that really reinforce some of the things that we're recommending to organizations and to our clients. So for those watching, be sure to follow us for more info and research results, and feel free to reach out to us with questions. Thanks for watching.